Welcome back to the next video. So, part 4 version already. How we've got here already. Anyway, I'm going to start by taking the wheels off, but there's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while with taking the wheels off, tightening the wheel nut back on, stuff like that. So I'm going to go through and do that first, and then we'll move on to taking the wheels off. But bear with me, and I hope you like this technical bit of it that I'm moving on to. See how it goes. So wheel nuts, believe it or not, there is a correct way and a non-correct way of taking wheel nuts off. So for starters, sockets. Now, if you use a socket like this, you can see it's got which what I call a multi-point or a multi-hex type of socket compared to this type, which is a wheel nut socket. So you can see the difference. You've got a full hex in there rather than a multi-hex. So with wheel nuts, I don't have the standard ones in. However, I used to run the standard ones that have got like those stainless covers on. They're absolutely fine if you use a wheel nut socket. However, if you use a socket like this, and I can show you in this, even though this is aftermarket wheel nuts, when you put it on, it's quite rattly. And also because you're not getting much purchase on the nut itself, these points actually dig into the stainless covers and they sort of bend it out of shape, and then that's why the covers distort and fall off over time. Also, if you combine a socket like that with a tool like this, it makes it worse, because what it's doing is it's rattling the socket on the nut backwards and forwards like this. Also, when you're using something like this, you've got no idea if you're over tightening it or not, which you probably are in this case. So then over tightening it creates more damage to the cover, and then equally when you've got to undo it, you've got to put more pressure on it in the opposite direction to get it off. So your best bet is to use a wheel nut socket with a torque wrench. And then, believe it or not, there's actually a correct way of tightening the wheel nuts up. So this is the standard handbook that came with my car. So it's just a Ford Focus handbook. And in here, it says there's a tightening sequence from 1 all the way up to 5 in basically a star formation. So you would tighten them up by hand, then you'd lower it down onto the ground and then torque them up. Now, it even shows you here that there's a torque figure, page 205. So we'll go to 205, and there's the torque figure there. All wheel nuts torque to 130 Newton meters or 96 foot-pounds. So if you follow that process with your standard wheel nuts, or any wheel nut for that matter, you won't have a problem. Honestly, I was gonna get some of my original wheel nuts out to show you guys that were original to the car, and they're absolutely in perfect condition. To be honest, I can't remember where I put them, so I can't show you them. But yeah, I know it seems like a daft thing to explain, but you get so many people complaining about the wheel nuts are terrible, and actually they're not. It's mainly down to user error from using sockets like this and tools like this. You can't go wrong with a wheel nut socket and a torque wrench. Dead simple. Off, I'm going to take the arch liner out next. Doesn't look too dirty, but I'm going to take it out anyway. It's just part of my sort of routine clean. So if you don't know, the wheel arch is mainly held in with these, and these just unscrew. Easy to do. Yeah, they just simply unscrew. Sometimes you've got to pull them a bit as you unscrew them, but yeah. Easy. Another one there. I've just got to take the mud flap packet off. So the arch line is out. You can see there's a bit of dirt in there, and that's why I take it out. I do it probably once or twice a year. It's not too bad really, but it just keeps on top of it. You can see a bit of dirt's collected in there, which is normal. But yeah, generally it's not too bad. A bit down here again, which is normal, but easy clean and easy when the arch liner is out. The arch liner, what I tend to do when it's out is I jet wash it as well. Just getting all of the trapped dirt out of it. See where a bit's gone on there. This was immaculate when I last put it back in, top and bottom. It's amazing how the dirt gets around, but yeah, it's part of the fun of driving it. So I'm also going to take the disc off. Again, it's something I normally do at this stage of the clean, so caliper's got to come off and then I can take the disc off. It's pretty easy to do, but I'll show you what's needed with that. You can see why I do it as well, because there'll be a bit of dirt that builds up behind. So first of all, I'm going to take the center part of the caliper off. So this is a bit you normally take off to change the pads as well. So all you need is a 13mm and a 15mm spanner. So you just hold the 15 on this part, and then you use 13 on the nut behind, or on the bolt behind in this case. Obviously the handbrake needs to be off when you do this as well, otherwise the caliper won't come off, it will be attached to the disc.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it.
So all that's holding the disc on now is this bolt here. These bolts is always important to never tighten these. I only just give them a quick nip, because otherwise the pain to get off, and then to get them off, simply just do this, hopefully, and it will loosen straight away.
A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained.
Okay, so disc is off. Little bit of dirt in there. You can see I've unclipped the caliper handbrake cable and the hose from this bracket here. They just push in and push back out again, obviously, to unclip them. I've got it dangling, but I'm going to put something under to support it and stop the caliper getting damaged, and also putting any strain on the hose there. But there's not much weight to it. But yeah, that's it. So just need to get it all cleaned up. I'll get the disc cleaned up and the back of the disc as well, and just everywhere else in the area. And then I'll probably move on to showing you how to get the bumper off. So I've cleaned it all with a pearl. What I'm going to do now is go over it with the Auto Glym tire remover with the spray attachment. So we'll just spray it on. I'll leave it for a couple of minutes. You'll see where it's dissolved some of the tire spots, and then we'll clean it off. So I've gone over it with the tire remover, got all the tire spots off. Now all I'm going to do is just go over it with a pearl again, and same process as I did with the underside. I'm just going to spray it on and leave it for probably 24 hours before I come and rub it off again. So spray that on now. You can see it's already looking a lot cleaner in there. It's pretty happy. So whilst the pearl's doing its thing, I'll get the caliper parts cleaned up, I'll get the mud flap cleaned up, I'll get the arch liner cleaned up, and then I'll move on to showing you how to take the bumper off.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
So for cleaning these up a bit, I'm just going to use a Dremel with one of these brass wire wheels. It just speeds the process a bit, but also it doesn't damage the zinc plating that's on these.
Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises.
Obviously these metal parts I could keep going and make them like a mirror if I wanted to, but I don't actually need to. It's fine for what it's doing. This side of this one is meant to be black as well. It's just something Ford did, but yeah, meant to be black I think. Okay, onto the disc now, so I'm just going to use a bit of towel remover on this one to begin with. Just let it soak for a bit. So the discs themselves, I actually had these coated by there's probably two ways of saying this. It's either Cerakote or Cerakote. I'm not sure, people say it in different ways, but I had the back, the grooves outside, and obviously around here, all done at the same time. It's kind of like a high temperature coating. So no, I've had the front brakes done the same. I had this done probably 6 years ago, I guess. It's lasted really well. Pretty good. So even in the grooves, it's still there. On the outside you can see it's still there, pretty nice, and yeah, it just stops the disc going rusty. Recommend getting it done. The discs themselves, these are actually Pagid discs supplied by Rayland Motorsport, so the groove pattern matches the front ones. Rayland actually do this as part of their package, that you can spec a set of padded discs and have any groove cut in that you like. So it's quite a good service from Rayland, and the discs have lasted really well as well. Yeah, pretty happy with them. So what I'm going to do now is just go over the pad contact area with the Dremel and a different brass brush. This is just to clean the surface rust off, just where I've washed the car, and then I've not used the car since. So yeah, it's just to get the worst of the surface rust off. It won't be like a mirror, but ultimately when I use the car, the brake pads will do their job anyway and clean the disc. just going to go over this face just with some brake cleaner, just in case there's anything greasy in the chemicals I've used to clean it off. Yeah, just keeps it safe with it being brakes. There we go, so that's that disc done. Like I say, this discoloration here, that will go as soon as I use the car. That will be gone, but it's just to get the surface rust off for now. Other than that, yeah, the car is ready to go back together on this side. Just need to wait for the pearl to do its job, so I'll come back tomorrow and carry on. So I was going to do a video on how to remove the bumper, but I don't think I need to remove the bumper. However, I'm going to show you one of the problem areas with removing the bumper, and it's generally this stud right here. So that stud is actually captive into this plastic part here. So when I say captive, I mean it's a stud that's basically been encased in the plastic molding. So it's just a standard hex bolt that's then obviously got the plastic around it, but because it's plastic that's stopping it from turning, you can't put too much pressure on it. And one of the problem areas is the thread there. Obviously it gets rusted up over time, and then when you go to undo the nut, the first part of it spins easy, and then it gets tighter because of the rust build up, and then ultimately the stud ends up spinning in the plastic, and you can't get it off. And the only way you can get it off is basically to get a saw or a grinder in this gap here to cut it to remove your bumper. So an easy way to eliminate that is just to get yourself a Dremel and just clean this thread up as best as you can all the way around, and get a load of WD-40 or a load of penetration fluid on there, but you want the threads to look as clean as you can, and then it will simply undo. So what I'll do is every year I take this off and I put a bit of copper soot grease on. So I'll take the nut off just to show you how easy it should come off when you keep it maintained. But yeah, basically, if you ever find yourself in a position where you're taking the rear bumper off and this nut gets tight, wind it back on. Don't keep trying to force it off, because the whole stud will end up spinning, and then you've got no choice but to cut it off, unfortunately. So just 10mm spanner, and it should loosen pretty easy. I never do these things too tight. So I haven't touched this for about a year, but yeah, see, this is just coming off by hand. That's basically what you want. You don't want it to be tight, because like I say, it will just end up spinning inside the plastic, and then yeah, you've got no choice but to cut it off. But you can see all the copper grease is in there. I just maintain that once a year. Stops any problems. So in these plastic bits as well, so you can see from previous owner, this is where mud flaps were drilled in. That's why I've got the mount tune ones now. So if I show you the mount tune version, it's actually got a metal bracket that comes as part of the kit, and the metal bracket actually aligns with existing holes. So where does it go? One there and one there. So that one there is actually an existing hole, an original hole, and that one there. Yeah, makes fitting nice and easy, and you're not drilling extra holes into the bumper, or on the front one, some people drill into the sill as well, which isn't ideal. So these plastic parts on my car, they're actually the original ones. Like I say, if you get to the point where this ends up spinning inside the plastic and you've got to cut it off, then really to put it back together properly, you've either got to drill that out and put a normal bolt in, but it's quite difficult to get in there, or you can actually buy these plastic parts. These are actually a standard Focus Mark II part. What makes it different on the RS is these additional brackets here and here, and then one up here as well. You can actually just fit standard Focus ones of these, and then just drill out the rivets and swap all these brackets over. I think they're about 30 quid a piece or something for standard Focus ones. If you buy the RS versions though, that come with all these extra brackets, they're quite expensive. I think they're like 300 quid. So it's definitely worth getting some of these. The only problem is now that they don't come in this white colour. They come in black now, I think. So if you were going down the route of standard concours, for example, then somebody in the know might pick up on the fact that they're not white and black. But other than that, they're exactly the same. But if you did want to take the bumper off, obviously you need to get that one out, which is your main problem one. You can either take these 2 bolts out here, or you can take that single one out up there. Obviously, you've got the wire here, which you need to disconnect for the fog light in this case, or reverse lights, one of them. You've got a bolt there. Obviously, pull the seal off. This gives you a bit more room to play with. You've got another bolt there. It's exactly the same on both sides, sort of a mirror image. And then under the car, you've got this bracket here. Let me turn on the light actually. There we go. Yeah, so you've got that bracket there. You can either disconnect it there, which is what I normally do, or disconnect it up here. Diffuser you can take off with the bumper, but you can also take the diffuser off separately, which is just a load of these clips all the way around. I think that's about it. The fittings for the lights, they just simply pop out like that. Just unscrew and pull it out. Just a standard bulb. But yeah, there's not much to the rear bumper if you ever need to take it off. So I've gone ahead and got the arch liner all cleaned up. I didn't jet wash it this time. I cleaned it up another way, but I'm not going to give you all my secrets on how I do things like this. But you can see it's cleaned up pretty well. Ideal for what I need. And I'll clean it up some more when it's fitted back in as well. So here we go, ash liner back in, everything's been cleaned, mud flaps back on, brake calipers back on, disc spins. I know the handbrake's going to work, I'm not even going to bother trying it, but I've clicked everything back in where it should be. Yeah, all done. So I've just got to repeat the process on the other side and then move on to the front. So whilst the wheel's off, I'm going to clean it up and then put it back on. So I'm going to use the good old Pearl again, just give it a good spray up, turn it over. Now obviously I've got a carpeted garage floor. If this was a concrete floor, you wouldn't just want to put it straight on the floor like that because you might damage the rim. So you just got to be careful. Obviously I've already pre-cleaned the wheels. I've gone around it with the wheel cleaner and the jet wash and everything, so it's literally just getting the rest of the dirt that's left off. So it's pretty easy to clean at this stage. The wheels all cleaned up, looking much better. So wheels themselves, these are G Technique, I think it is, C5 ceramic coated. So I actually did that myself a few years ago now, but it works well. See the backs of the wheel as well. All nice and clean. The backs of the spokes and everything as well. This is the sort of thing I'll actually do in the morning if I compete in the concours as well. Take all these off, clean it just like I've shown you in this video, put it all back together again. Madness, but it's good fun. If you notice, when I'm tightening these up, I am doing it by hand, and I'm doing it in the star sort of shape that I mentioned previously. So the reason for doing this is so that it like centralizes the wheel onto the hub. Obviously the backs of these are tapered, so it sort of centralizes to the nut, but this is to centralize the wheel to the hub. It's just the correct way of doing it. So, torque spec, we know from earlier that it was 130 Newton meters. So with a torque wrench as well, whenever you're finished with it, you want to let the torque off, because otherwise it stretches the spring within the torque wrench and then you're not getting a true torque reading. I know this because I work with calibrated tools, being in engineering. So set that to 130 Newton meters. I don't know if you can see on there, but set to 130. So I'll start with the locking wheel nut, and all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to give it a nip before I let it down on the back on the ground, or on the ramp in this case. So just a little nip. That's just to centralize the wheel on the hub. There we go. So I'll let the jack down. Again, back to the locking wheel nut. Start with that one. Wait till it clicks, and then just follow the standard star shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you want to, you can just go back and check that the first one is at the correct torque, which it is. I'll just check another random one. There we go, all good. That's how you put a wheel on with a torque wrench and not one of those rattle tools that I mentioned earlier, because they're a bit rubbish, to be fair. I don't know why people use them, but that's just my opinion. Back on the wheel nuts, I actually found some of my original ones, so just thought I'd show you them. So as far as I'm aware, these are original to the car. I've never changed them, and I ran them. How long have I had the car now? I've had it 11 years. I probably ran these for about 6 years with wheel spacers on as well. But as you can see, like, I know they're not perfect, and I do understand it's not the best design, but they're not chewed up like the photos I put in previous. None of the covers are loose. They're all tight. Yeah, they're perfectly usable. Obviously, they're not the best design of wheel nut, but like I say, if you use the wheel nut sockets, they're all right. So I'll set this up just to show you why sockets like this can affect wheel nuts. Hopefully I'm not going too much into this, but I just want to show you anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have a 19mm bolt to show you with, so I've set up a 17mm socket and a 17mm wheel nut socket. So I've got a 17 head bolt here, so when you put it in there, you can see, get it to focus, you can see it's just acting on the corners of the bolt head. When you have a closer look in these sockets, the corner parts are actually sort of like rounded out. So when you put your bolt in, it actually acts on the flat part instead of the corner, and that's why it doesn't chew up the covers on the standard ones. Yeah, it gives you more purchase area. That's why it just works better. Obviously, also with wheel sockets, you get these covers that protect your wheels. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for my wheels because it's a bit tight. I'll just show you. It's a bit tight. It probably would be all right, but I don't want to scratch I don't want it is a bit tight, to be fair. So I just slide the cover off. So where did I put my original one? Oh, it's almost. I've got a second one. So with the cover slid off, it just fits in there a lot better. Yeah. So this is one of my aftermarket wheel nuts. I've had these on the car for probably 6 years now. I take my wheels off probably at least 20 times a year. So what's that, 100, 110, 120 times that these have been on and off. And if you look at them, yeah, pretty good. Not a single bit of damage on them. That's just using wheel nut socket. That's all I ever use. Wheel nut socket and torque wrench. Never use a impact gun or whatever you call them, and a one of them things. I use one of them. People quite often ask as well what spaces I'm running. The answer in this case is none. There's no wheel spaces on there. It's just how I spec the wheels. I used to run wheel spacers though when I had the standard wheels. So when I first bought the car, I had 15s on the front and 20s on the rear. But that was fine until I went to fit these wheels. And then because it had 15s on the front, it had the wheel studs cut shorter. So when I went to fit these, the studs weren't long enough to fit the wheels, which turned into basically pulling the bearings out and putting longer studs in. And that also turned into Revo knuckle refurb, and I can go into more in depth than that. But Wheel spacers, some people say they're a bit dangerous, to be honest. When I had the wheel spacers on, I took it around the Nurburgring. I did 6 laps of the Nurburgring and 2 20-minute sessions of the GP track. I had no problems at all with the spacers. They were absolutely fine. However, with spacers, I would recommend that if you're using the standard wheels and spacers, put 20s up front and 20s on the rear as well, so that you don't have to cut the studs. And then if you want to put aftermarket wheels on, you don't have the same problem I did. I don't know how it came about with the 15mm spacers. I think somebody way back when these cars first came out, they thought 15s on the front and 20s on the back were the perfect fitment, and then for some reason that's just stuck through all these years. Personally, I think it makes more sense to keep the track the same and just have 20s front and rear, and obviously you don't have to cut the studs. Some people say that they have no issues with having to cut the studs, and that's probably because somebody previous has already cut them. So yeah, it is an issue, just something to be aware of, that probably most of these now, I guess, have had cut studs at some stage due to fitting 15s up front. But yeah, 20s are fine. I'll see if I can dig out some photos and show you when I had mine on 20s all round with the standard wheels, and say it was absolutely fine. I had no rubbing issues or anything. Hand spacers are okay. I used to drive my car pretty hard, and yeah, it was absolutely fine. And if you want as well, I'll put a link up of one of the laps I did at the Nurburgring. Okay, so obviously that corner's back together. Got the other side to do, but I don't think I'll show you guys that. It's exactly the same process of what I've just done. So I'll carry on, get that done. I'll end this video here, which is part 4 version done. And then in the next one, we'll go ahead and do the same to the front pretty much. Obviously a bit different on the front. But I can show you the work I've done in there on the Revo knuckles and everything as well. Get the front arch liners out. I might even take the front bumper off. Haven't decided yet, but we'll see. But as always, thanks for watching. Obviously, people probably won't agree with the way I've done this, but again, it's one of them things that works for me. The rattle guns, I don't see the point in using them on wheels. That for what time you're going to save? Probably what, 30 seconds. It's not worth it. Plus, you might damage your wheels as well, or your nuts, or over tighten your bolts, or stretch them. Who knows? At least doing it this way, you know it's right, and you're not over tightening anything or causing any damage. But yeah, if you've got any questions, obviously get them in the comments. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.